At the beginning of this story, we see Joe, who lives in an underground bunker with his dog. His dog's name is Gilligan. Joe lives in the bunker because, a few years ago, a virus turned 95% of the world's population into dead walkers. The few humans who survived lived in bunkers, or safe houses, like this. Joe spent all his time with Gilligan, so he became very attached to him. One night, Joe takes Gilligan outside the bunker, but dead walkers attack them. Joe somehow manages to save himself, but the walkers kill Gilligan. After Gilligan's death, Joe becomes very depressed. He spends a few days alone, but with each passing day, his depression grows deeper. Some months before this, Joe had been chatting online with a girl named Sandra. He had kept printouts of their conversations. Sandra lived 734 miles away, and the path to her was very dangerous because of the walkers. But now, Joe decides that he must overcome his fear and go to Sandra. He packs some essential items, takes his favorite bike, and starts his journey. On the way, Joe's bike gets a flat tire because of a road trap. He gets off the bike and heads toward a nearby house. But there, he falls into another trap. A walker attacks him, trying to eat him, but a girl arrives and kills the walker. This girl's name is Evie, and she was the one who set up all these traps. Evie handcuffs Joe and takes him inside the house. She tells him, "I'm taking your bike and your supplies." But Joe says, "You won't even be able to start my bike because I designed it myself. It has secret switches." Then Evie points a gun at him and says, "Fine, you'll drive the bike. Take me where I want to go, and then you can leave." The next morning, Evie and Joe set off on the bike. We then learn that Evie is also heading to the same city where Joe wanted to go. Evie makes Joe drive at gunpoint, and whenever he's not riding the bike, she handcuffs him again. Evie had a habit of talking a lot. That night, they stop in a forest to sleep. Joe tells her, "You should trust me." But since Evie had just met Joe and didn't know anything about him, she doesn't trust him. The next day, Joe and Evie continue their journey. That night, they stop again to rest. But this time, a large group of dead walkers starts coming toward them. To survive, Evie has no choice but to trust Joe. She gives him weapons to fight. Together, Joe and Evie kill all the walkers. The next day, while talking, Evie tells Joe, "I'm going to meet my boyfriend. He's a painter, but he only paints people he hates." Joe then tells Evie about Sandra and even shows her a picture of her. Earlier, Joe had parked his bike outside a factory. While they are talking, a thief steals their bike and tries to run away. Joe takes Evie's gun and shoots at the thief, but the gun is empty. Now, they have to continue their journey on foot. Joe gets very angry at Evie. He says, "All my important things were on that bike, and this happened because of you. You're such an idiot." Then he adds, "If your boyfriend only paints people he hates, then he must have painted you too." Hearing this, Evie also gets angry at Joe and insults him back. After this fight, they both go their separate ways. Joe walks until he reaches Sandra's bunker. Sandra opens the door for him. This is the first time Joe and Sandra are talking face to face, so they both seem very happy. Meanwhile, Evie reaches her boyfriend's house. When she looks at his paintings, she sees a painting of herself. Realizing what this means, she leaves without even meeting him. Back at Sandra's bunker, Sandra gives Joe a brownie to eat. Joe happily starts eating it, not knowing that Sandra had mixed drugs into it. When the drugs start affecting Joe, Sandra takes a knife and cuts his neck. Then she says, "You came here to steal my bunker, didn't you?" But Joe replies weakly, "No, I only came here to meet you." Sandra explains coldly, "Before you, many people have come here pretending to need help, only to try stealing my bunker afterward. That's why I killed them all and kept their watches as trophies." She then removes Joe's watch and prepares to kill him too. At that exact moment, Evie arrives outside the bunker. Seeing Evie through the window, Sandra quickly ties Joe to a pole in another room before letting Evie inside. Sandra offers Evie the same drugged brownie she gave Joe. But before eating it, Evie asks about Joe's whereabouts. Sandra lies, saying, "Joe never came here." This makes Evie suspicious, and she accuses Sandra. "You're lying." Hearing this, Sandra immediately attacks Evie. A violent fight breaks out between them. Evie manages to break free and runs through the bunker when she suddenly hears Joe's muffled cries. Following the sound, she finds Joe tied up and quickly releases him. Joe grabs a nearby knife and stabs Sandra to death in self-defense. After escaping the bunker, Joe and Evie apologize to each other for their earlier rude behavior. They decide to travel back toward the city together as the episode ends. This episode is part of the series Tales of the Walking Dead, which features 6 standalone episodes with different short stories in each. The series currently holds a 6.9 rating on IMDb. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to this channel for more interesting content. We'll see you in the next video.